Well, you've probably started your home or closet annual spring cleaning routine. It might be time to do some spring cleaning in your relationship.
Our next guest is an entrepreneur who facilitates cooking classes for families and couples who might have some challenges communicating with each other. Allison Carver is here with a fresh spring appetizer and 5 questions to ask your partner in the kitchen. We've done this before. This is so much fun. Welcome back.
Well, thank you for having me back. I'm thrilled to be here.
We always learn something when you're here.
Well, that's the hope for
we
sure.
start with the cooking?
Yes. So the way this works is I want you to go into the kitchen with your partner and make this fresh and fun recipe for spring. It's perfect, right?
Okay.
And you're gonna. It's 5 easy steps and 5 questions. So 1 question per step.
Okay.
Very good.
Yeah.
Communication is key. So when we started the show this morning and I heard you talking about what was to come, I could have sworn that we were making sweet tea crostini. And I thought, is that like a French bread casserole? How does that work? So hearing what your partner is saying
Step
is
number
key.
1, folks.
Sweet peas.
She never listens when I tell her stuff.
Stop it, I listen all the time.
I love the couple dynamic here. Is this great? Okay, so the first step is you're going to want to toast your crostinis, and a crostini is a fancy word for toasted bread, right?
Okay.
So you're going to want to cut your slices very thin and get them nice and crispy, because the last thing you want for a crostini is for it to be soggy. So make sure you're going to toast it in the oven, about 350 degrees with a little bit of olive oil. And here you go. I did that before I got here. So these are your crostinis.
So you start bringing the heat right in the beginning
Right
of this
in the beginning, that's right.
exercise.
So while you and your partner are doing this step, I want you to ask each other, what was our last fight about? And now the reason we're discussing arguments today is I think that arguments are something that all couples do, right? And it's important to check in on that when it comes to the springtime. It's a great time of year to, like you said, just check in and see how things are going. And if you're fighting a lot about the same thing, it's a good opportunity to come up with a solution.
Well, it's interesting too because, you know, I joked you're bringing the heat in the beginning. You're asking a kind of heavy question because I feel like if we've gotten over it.
Let's not go into that again.
That's how I roll.
Do we have to do that?
Well, the thinking is you're not going to be in a fight when you're making these crostinis. So it's easier to talk about it if you're not fighting.
I thought the same thing. Move to die.
So you'll ask each other, what was our last fight about? And then the second step is you're going to be making sort of like a pesto. You're going to mix your peas, your basil, your garlic, a little bit of white wine vinegar, some Parmesan cheese, salt and pepper into your food processor.
Ooh, can we do that?
Yes, so I'd love for you guys to do it.
Okay, so that's step 2.
And then during step 2, right, and then during this step, you're going to actually find out what are some topics that we typically fight about. And again, the point of this is to discuss or to find out what are the themes. We usually fight about the same thing over and over again. So that's kind of crazy, so why not? Peas on the roll!
You never clean the kitchen.
Exactly. Now put in a 1/4 cup of olive oil too, along with your other stuff. Bill, you want to put that in there?
No, she's doing it. She's on it. Oh, this is what is
That's
this?
the white wine vinegar.
Oh, this is the white wine vinegar.
Honey, you have to be
See
part
how
of this.
helpful I am?
See, I know.
You just have to tell me.
And when you're in the kitchen with your partner, this is exactly what you would do. You'd be doing it together.
Okay.
I have some fresh basil here. You can also use mint if you prefer. It's also really yummy in
Do you
this.
want to put that in, Bill?
Okay.
Yeah,
All
go
of this
for it.
goes in?
Yep. Hopefully my
I'm
food
all
processor.
in for you, baby.
Yay!
That's
That's what I love to hear. And if your
see?
food processor is small, again, mine's a little teeny one, you can do this in batches too.
How about all the cheese?
Yeah, dump it in. We'll see how
It's
it
really
does.
cheesy, just like Bill.
Oh, okay. Is that it? Are we done?
That's it, yeah.
Okay, everything's
And then give it a whirl.
Okay.
Let's see. Give it a nice chop.
And so those are just drained sweet peas. Yep.
Now, I have a question for you, relationship counselor.
Yes, how can I help?
So, we're talking about relationships, and you're giving us something that's basically colored garlic. So, is that is that really going to be conducive to?
Well, if you're both eating it, absolutely.
Okay, self-defense.
You have to have some too, Bill.
Exactly.
Okay.
Okay, so that is step 2. And then step 3, you're going to actually assemble. So you're going to take your crostinis and you're going to put a dollop of the green right on top of it.
Do we have a dolloper?
I do. Well, no, but here. We can wing it. We can use this.
Improvisation.
Improvise, exactly.
So,
Put a little dollop on there. And during this step, you're going to ask each other, how many face-to-face conversations are we having a day? This is something I'm very passionate about when it comes to couples. I think that we are not talking to each other, especially face-to-face anymore, and that causes a lot of problems.
Well, I have a question because
Look at those great dollops.
I know.
Thank you
Honey,
very
you're
much.
doing a
Thank
great
you.
job.
Great job.
Oh, thank you. I respond to that. Guys actually do better when they're not facing someone. So How many face-to-face do we have?
Wait, what does that mean?
Yeah, why?
What? Were you talking to the wall?
No. I mean, because you get confrontational, then the testosterone kicks in, and I go like, "Don't get in my face."
Well, the thinking is that the more you talk when you're neutral and not upset,
Yeah,
the
no,
easier it is
right.
to
I'm
have
working
this
on this, and
conversation.
I'm not actually
Exactly, right.
Okay.
But this counts as a face-to-face because faces are near each other. You know what I mean mostly? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to
I
interrupt
find
you.
that I'm squandering my face-to-face time fussing about things that are completely unrelated to like the betterment of what we're up to, right? You know, you're wasting time fussing about, I don't know, something that I'm grouchy about, which never hardly happens.
And exactly.
Yes, so you need to like concentrate and maybe cherish that time when you do have face-to-face.
Right.
Even if it is up in there.
Because you're exactly right. Like, how many times have we had like text conversations where you're like, "Oh, I love you. Have a great day." Why can't you say that face to face? Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay.
Great job dolloping
Yeah,
here.
fantastic.
Oh, thank you. Good dolloper.
Step number 4 is you're going to put some creme fraiche, like a little bit of drizzle on here. Creme fraiche is very fancy for
Fancy, that's you.
right. So you can use
Thanks,
sour
hon.
cream if you don't want to use creme fraiche, but it adds a nice lightness and creaminess to it. It's going to put a little dollop on there.
So this communication thing,
That's fantastic.
you know, is basically this is for someone who actually has a male as a spouse.
No, not really. No.
No.
Any relationship at all.
Oh, because
We're all communicators.
Exactly.
well, guys, not so much.
Well, I'm working to change that. That's one couple at
I'm
a time.
speaking for myself. Let's put it that way.
Okay, so you know what? Okay, he raises a good point. I think I understand what you're saying, honey. If you're not much of a good,
She translates for me.
if you're not good at having these face-to-face, like okay, I think Bill's revealed he might feel like it's a little confrontational, right? To get face-to-face, have this conversation. It's not his strong suit. How would we tackle that?
I think the more, like I said, the more you do it, and if you make sure your partner is in a good place when he or she comes to you. You're going to do this on a Tuesday night when you've opened up a bottle of wine, you're having a good time. You're not going to do this when you're really PO'd at each other.
Step 5.
How do we show appreciation to each other? With step 4.
Yeah, step 4, how do we show appreciation? And step 5, how can we commit to putting our phones away when we are together? And this goes to the face-to-face conversations. We all have our phones and we're all distracted and we're not, you know, having that intentional time together.
Yes.
So I want, when you're in the kitchen cooking together, I want your phones to be out of the kitchen.
Not a problem. I usually lose mine.
And
Well, there you
just
go.
a heads up, you can connect with Allison. This cook-in is a cool way
Thank
to
you.
like date night it up.
I just started a new date night membership program called Cook In for couples to go on dates and to be intentional because we're not dating, we're not spending time together.
Yeah.
Gotta have that date,
That's
baby.
right. So why not have a date without having to leave your house?
And you get snacks.
And you get snacks.
You
Yeah.
better eat one too.
Cheers.
Oh,
Cheers.
self-defense.
So it's all the
We're all in.
vampires won't
the
get
rest
you.
of the day.
We'll post the recipe on our show website by early this afternoon, WTVR.com/VTM.
Stay tuned. We'll be right back, stinky and all.